Yo, what is good? College football people and the good people of Kansas City and to the rest of the world as well too. We are back with another episode of the Red Shirt Podcast. I'm sorry if I'm looking down at my phone because I'm trying to send this out,
We doing
y'all.
the same thing, y'all.
Yeah. We are back. Your man DG, along with my co-host here, my good brother Trey, back in action, man. It's been a minute since we've been on here. Obviously, the holidays, you know, um, time to spend with our families and stuff like that. But we're back with another episode, man, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the break, the time off. We got a lot to talk about, especially tonight. A lot
It's
to
gonna
talk
be a longer show, DG.
hot off the press kind of
Hot.
news.
Steamy.
But before we get into all that, Trey, how you feeling tonight?
Hey man, this is one of those special episodes, man. Where you got something fresh, hot, like a Little Caesar's pizza. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a one phone. This one's gonna be a little bit longer than we used to, but it's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah.
Or more than one in some cases.
Obviously, the college football season is approaching the end of the year. It's winding all down. The college football playoffs are set. The Heisman finalists are set. The bowl season matchups are set at this point. If your team did not make it into the CFP, sugar. And if your team did get in, good for you.
I hope you lose in the first round.
Right. Fortunately, my team gets to play in the Citrus Cheez-Its Bowl.
And it's so great when you play the team that lost to Duke last week in the Tax Slayer Bowl. Yay! Or the Gator Bowl, my bad.
It used to be a while back. It used to be at a point where bowl season used to really mean something, for schools to get that bowl game or whatever, or play on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. It really used to mean something, man. And now it seems more of like, if you don't make the CFP, like, why are we even doing this? What are we doing? Like,
especially if we got another year.
So, unfortunately, some teams left out, some teams upset and angry, some schools pouting. You go name a certain school, and South being Indiana. But ultimately, man, the 12 teams that did get in, man, congratulations to those schools. It's all there for the taking for you. Unless you're James Madison.
That was deep, bro.
I shouldn't talk about James Madison. Maybe they can pull off, the upsets of all the upsets, but we'll see. Anyway, but yeah, congratulations to all the schools that did get in. It should be a very, very exciting college football playoffs, and hopefully we get some very exciting matchups here coming up soon. But we will start this show off going to the news that just came hot off the press before we even got on this show. I'm literally setting up the show, and I see this come across my timeline. It's so wild. There's big news coming out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. At this point, Coach Sharon Moore has been let go, fired, exterminated, however you want to put it, kicked out, booted out the door. Just the last hour. Unfortunately, it is due to some unfortunate circumstances at this point in time right now, that of which I will leave our viewers to go find out for themselves. It's obviously pretty public news.
These are all alleged.
Yeah, all alleged at this point. I'm not the type of guy, especially when it's one of our own. Um, I'm not gonna kick him down while he's down or anything like that. All I'll say is that sometimes you just have to make certain decisions and um, make sure you either don't get caught or you either don't do things like that, especially when you're in the position that you are in. But obviously, Trey, this news coming out, just like I said, high off the press in the last hour. How do you feel like this affects the Michigan program moving forward?
Hey man, what J. Cole said, such things in life ain't nothing better than loving yours, brother.
Yes.
No such things in life than better than yours. Yeah. This means a lot. I mean, this league means a lot for a lot of people because yeah, this happens right after signing day, and now you're in a spot. If you're a Michigan recruit, you're like, do I want to go here? Because I mean, there's a lot of people who might. There's some recruits that probably are there because they mess with Sharon,
Yeah.
And now they're like, hey, do we want to stay? Do we want to really stay in Michigan? A team with no offense, respectfully, they ain't got no passing attack.
Yeah.
Do I want to stay here? Do I want to transfer Bryce Underwood? I mean, you'll get paid wherever you go, but you gonna get. It's a lot of things that's on the board right here. I mean, you now go from as a player, you're watching that, and your head coach they have to buy into you to play for you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know nothing about what's allegedly being said. They weren't told about it. They were just told that he's gone.
Right.
So now it's in a frenzy of what's going to happen now. What's the decision making?
Mm-hmm.
Now if you're Michigan, you got to figure out a way to keep your players bought in. You have to find a way to make sure that your players don't try and go look elsewhere.
Yeah.
You got some players, you got some kids coming in, and then you got big number of Bryce Underwood, and he's sitting over there. If he's looking at all outcomes, there might be an opportunity where you might hear rumblings he might want to transfer. So this means a lot. For the Michigan staffing, this also means a lot because of the fact that we just went through a whole coaching cycle where we were trying to figure out who was going where, which left Penn State out in the dust, which finally they found a head coach.
Yeah.
Now, Michigan's got to go through this whole same thing and make sure that their players are okay with it.
Yeah. There's not too many candidates out there that you can really choose from at this point, this late in the season. Ultimately, I would think that Michigan is probably going to try to get a coach that's already at a pretty prestigious program to flip and but I'm not sure if you're one of those coaches, if you want to take this job at this point, because like you said, with all the recruiting aspects of it and everything like that in nature, is just it seems a little too much right now. I see names like Kalen DeBoer kind of floating around. I don't know if that's something you want to leave already, a program like Bama or one of these other product blue blood schools to go here now, especially after the news that came out today, and want to go to Michigan, unless Michigan is just offering a bag, right? Which, I mean, obviously we all know Michigan can do. But yeah, it just seems like it would be a little bit too much for me to want to take this job at this point in time. So
you're looking at it from a lot of positions.
Yeah.
You said DeBoer. I know you probably don't want to hear Steve Sarkisian.
Yeah, I would assume they would probably cost Sark, but I don't think there's
He's like, nah,
no hands in hell that
Lincoln,
Sark would
hold on. Lincoln Riley ain't safe either. They want to
Lincoln
have an
Riley.
offense.
Yeah, yeah, I can see it. I mean, I would think that there's probably some NFL assistant coaches that may want to jump into this. I can see them maybe trying to go for a Brian Dayball right now, getting him to go to college, go back to college. But it's so difficult because now, like, taking this job, you're essentially having to start all the way over, pretty much. Especially, and like you said, as a recruit, if you're a recruit of Michigan or whatever, now you're thinking, do I go here if I just committed? Especially after National Signing Day, do I stick it out here, or am I now looking at my options? And then you got to talk about the recruits that's supposed to be coming in that are already committed for next year. Going into the new season. What happens here? The transfer portal may get hot now because kids are going to, maybe think of Michigan. So it's a lot of things that boil down with this thing right now. Obviously, man, hopefully Sharon Moore can land on his feet somewhere else at another program or whatever. I know the news that people have seen allegedly or whatever, but I never, like I said, I never want to kick a man while he's down or anything like that. So hopefully there's a shot and the opportunity. I think what you do off the field does not relate to what you do on the field at points in time. I know there's an image to uphold, especially off the field as well, but I still think that he's a very, very good coach and that he should ultimately probably have a job somewhere else at another program. But this is a lesson learned. I know probably for him or whatever, and it probably might be time to maybe step away from coaching for a little bit to handle some things behind the scenes or whatever. So we'll see what happens moving forward from here. But yeah, bro, I don't know. Yeah, so we'll land that there.
Yeah, we're gonna end that plane right
And get to some other news going around the college football landscape. Obviously, like I said, a lot has been happening over these last couple weeks, and we have finally gotten the news of who our 4 finalists are for the Heisman Trophy this year. So start left to right. Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback of Indiana, the front runner, I feel like, for this award right now, especially after his big win over Ohio State last weekend. Diego Pavia, the quarterback for Vanderbilt, along with Jeremiah Love and Julian Sayin, the talented true freshman quarterback for Ohio State, are the 4 candidates for the Heisman Trophy. These 4 will be headed to New York. I think this coming Saturday is the ceremony or whatever. Who you got?
Honestly, I think that number one, I think all four of these prospects, they deserve their own congratulations. Whether it be they brought a lot of hype and a lot of emotion and a lot of love towards their school. I mean, they've all done a phenomenal job. And Fernando Mendoza, when nobody talking about Fernando Mendoza at Cal, now he goes over to Indiana and he does exactly what he needs to do. Diego Pavia, he had an okay year last year. It was okay. It's not a bad pick. He had an okay year last year, kind of put everybody on notice, and then Vandy came out and then absolutely does what they do. Jeremiah Love, he's been known as one of the best backs in college football. Got to emphasize himself on there this year. Julian Sayin, one of those guys who actually left when Saban retired, and Ohio State said, "Yeah, let me go ahead and go scoop you up." He's done a phenomenal job of keeping the Buckeyes right where the Buckeyes are usually at. Me personally, looking at all these prospects and all that, I know that it's a quarterback. I know that they try and make the Heisman position a quarterback position. But honestly, I'm rocking with Jeremiah Love. I think that kid has been a fun. He's not your traditional running back. He's not a guy who you just run him 20. You can integrate him into the pass game and integrate him into the run game. You put him a couple of tackles, he shoots off like a cannon. I think whoever gets him in the NFL draft this year, they're going to get a stud up to the level we were talking about for Ashton Denny last year. Honestly, that's who I'm going to go with, even though we talked about teams who are upset because they're not making the college football playoff. You can't blame him for them not. So that's probably going to be my pick.
Yeah. I think I got a pick that I would want to win it and a pick that I know is going to win it. Fernando Mendoza is going to win this award.
Yeah.
I think we all kind of know that at this point, especially this. I don't think this award is always necessarily about stats versus what you mean to your team as well. And that, not only, as TJ just said, not only the moment versus Penn State, but also going to be Ohio State last weekend, I think cemented this award for him. A lot of people did not have Indiana. I included myself. I'm sorry. I did not have Indiana winning that game. So for them to pull off a game of that stature, and obviously, I mean, he didn't put up, extreme numbers in that game, but for him to help them lead them to that win, I think just cemented this award for him even more. Jeremiah Love is who I would, if I was voting, that's who I would have picked. I think he was arguably, if we're going off of talent, I think he was the most talented player in the nation this year. I think that if you take him away from Notre Dame, I don't think that team is the same without him this year. And obviously, Jeremiah Love will be one of the top picks in this upcoming draft this year. To Julian saying, man, that kid was phenomenal this year as well too. Definitely surprised me to come in as a true freshman and light it up like that. Definitely a tall task to ask a young kid like that to be able to do that. But obviously when you have a plethora of weapons like Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith, I would think that that's probably what he would have said if he does win this award somehow, some way, that those guys really helped out at this point. But and then Diego Pavia, man, what he means to that Vanderbilt program, how good he really is. He's everything for that program at this point in time. And I think that he clearly deserves to be part of this Final Four as well. I'm surprised that it didn't go to 5. There was a lot of talk about the kid out of Texas Tech, the linebacker. I think it's Jacob Rodriguez. There was a lot of complaints about him not making it. We obviously have seen defensive players be a part of this ceremony before, the Charles Woodsons and the Dominican Sues of the world. Looking back on it, I don't know if he did enough to be in this thing, and I could be wrong on that. And there's probably some Texas Tech fans that are looking at me probably sideways or whatever right now. I obviously don't watch a whole ton of Texas Tech football. I just think that the guys that they did choose kind of went off of more of what they did and how much they actually meant to their respective schools this year. So all props and credit to the kid out of Texas Tech as well. But obviously, it's an offensive award, guys. Like at the end of the day, it's an offensive award. If you're gonna be a defensive player and win it, then you gotta be a Charles Woodson, you gotta be a Travis Hunter, somebody that really plays both sides of the ball. I know Jacob Rodriguez had some offensive touchdowns this year or whatever in spots that they put him in, but obviously you got to do a lot more to be a defensive player and be a part of this award. So yeah, man, shout out to these guys for being able to make it to New York. Hopefully they enjoy their time up there. Just to watch Fernando Mendoza.
Right. Just watch Fernando Mendoza. Yeah.
In other news, moving right along, the college football playoff bracket is officially set. Sunday, there was a lot of talk and discussion going around about this bracket. Who's in, who's out, who shouldn't be in, who shouldn't be out. Obviously, as you guys see, the top 4 seeds, Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas Tech, are the top 4 seeds. They all receive a bye. And in the matchups in the first rounds, you get Oklahoma versus Alabama, Oregon versus James Madison, Texas A&M versus Miami, and Ole Miss versus Tulane. Shout out to Duke for helping 2 G5 schools get into the college football playoffs. I know that Tulane and James Madison fans are forever grateful for Duke for doing that. And honestly, man, the championship Saturday was somewhat predictable, and then towards the end of the night, it got a little chaotic. Especially with Indiana and their win, and then watching that Duke and Virginia game go down to overtime, and Virginia just pissed everything away. It was right there for the taking, for you to get in, for you to represent the ACC, and just So Miami ends up benefiting as well from the Virginia loss as well, and then obviously the Bama loss to Georgia as they got steamrolled in the SEC championship, and BYU as well got steamrolled by Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship, which ultimately gets Miami into the field of 12 at this point. A lot of people had some thoughts and some complaints about Alabama still being a part of this 12-team playoff after the way that they performed in their conference championship game. And that's something I think we're going to kind of talk about at this point. So how did you feel? How are your thoughts after seeing the field of 12 be, completed?
My personal opinion, I think that this is it like what you said. I think at the beginning of the year, beginning of the day, it was very, very predictable. The 2:30 game, I will get on Alabama later on tonight, but that wasn't exactly what I thought the SEC championship was going to be. I did not watch the Big Ten championship. I was out and about, but I thought that Ohio. I knew it was going to be close, but I thought it was going to go the other way. I thought Ohio State was just going to be able to do what they needed to do and win. And I was actually telling somebody on Twitter when I was on a space, I was like, just for the love of God, do not watch that game. Do not watch that. Do not watch Duke versus Virginia. Because I knew some part of me was like, even though I wanted chaos, I didn't think it was going to happen. What happened? Of course, Duke went ahead and win. I was like, are you kidding me? So it's honestly me looking at this whole entire bracket. Oh man, there's so many narratives. There's so many conversations that needs to be had. Like, I'm so happy that JMU got in because they were really loving it. But y'all about to get both. Y'all about to get both like no other.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously there were some thoughts about some of these teams that obviously made it in, that people felt like didn't really deserve to be in there. And Alabama, like I said, was a real big one. A lot of people felt like after the SEC championship game that Bama would be out due to the three loss rule that I guess a lot of people would think that the committee has adopted. But the committee has essentially told you that conference championship games will not punish you moving forward in this 12
I,
team bracket.
can we just go ahead and say what it is? We know how bad the committee just fucked over Notre Dame. Like they had Notre Dame.
I will get to that. So here's my rant. And hopefully there's some Notre Dame fans. I agree with the committee. You shouldn't have been in. Sorry. And if you want to be in, join a conference. Join a conference. Go to the ACC or the Big Ten or one of these other conferences. I don't care what it is. American Conference, one of them. Join a conference and play a legitimate schedule. Because you will not get rewarded for going 0-2 against two teams that are in the field and then playing cupcake ACC teams the rest of the way. I don't care that you beat Pittsburgh. I don't care that you beat USC. I don't care who you beat on your schedule after those first two games. Those first two games, you played Texas A&M, you played Miami, you lost. Don't care if it's by 1 point, 2 points, or whatever. You lost. It is what it is. And I think that's the reason why you're at home sitting right now on the couch watching everybody else. You're definitely going to be sitting on the couch because now you don't want to play in a bowl game either. So I'm going to take my ball, I'm going to cry, and I'm going to go home because I can't get in. And you know, as a Texas fan, it made me even more upset because a lot of people expected Texas to react this way after we didn't get in and things of that nature, which ultimately I understood the reasons why we didn't get in. Obviously, there was some hope that there may be a chance and opportunity for the Longhorns to be a part of this 12-team field, but ultimately we didn't do our job to be in this bracket at this point this year. So it is what it is, man. I think we accepted our fate. We moved on. We will now head to Orlando to play in our respective bowl game. And you know, like we said, congratulations to the 12 team that did make it in. But for Notre Dame, it boils down to two things, man. Y'all got to start playing real teams, and y'all got to start playing in a conference. I'm sorry, it's just that simple. You know, like I look. If you wanted to be in, you should have went undefeated. You should have beat Texas A&M in Miami. Point blank, or one of them at least. You know, I think at 11-1, you probably get in. If you would have probably lost that first game to Miami and beat Texas A&M, you're probably in. But you lost to both of them. What am I supposed to do with that? So you're telling me you deserve to be in over Alabama, who played in a lot tougher conference this year. You know, obviously beat one of the top seeds in this bracket in Georgia. You know, do you deserve to be in over them? Do you deserve to be in over an Oklahoma who I still think are frauds at this point and are probably going to lose? But played in a lot tougher conference as well too. And a lot of people probably get up here and say it's SEC biasness and yada yada yada. Well, you want to play with the best? Come join the best. Do it. Because teams and schools like Mizzou haven't been afraid to do it. Texas hasn't been afraid to do it. Join a conference. Stop being independent. Stop being out here saying we're going to make our own schedule. And then when you make your own schedule, you lose to the teams that you schedule. Sorry, it's that simple. You know? I will say that my other nitpick with this bracket is the G5 schools. I'm sorry. Like all credit all credit to James Madison and both Tulane, but they set you guys up for failure. Massive, massive, massive failure. Um, and maybe, like I said, maybe and on any given Saturday, college football is crazy. Something weird could go on and happen, and somehow maybe one of these teams ends up upsetting either Oregon or Ole Miss. But I just think if the G5 schools want to play for something significant, make your own bracket at this point. I'm sorry. I don't want to see James Madison or Old Dominion or any of those schools out there be in this bracket. I don't understand why we have to reward the little guys for being the little guys at this point. Like it doesn't make any utter sense to me at all. I think it takes up two spots from the top 12 teams that could be in this bracket right now that could give us some really great matchups in the first round, especially. And we all know how last year went. A lot of people complain about the first round and how top heavy it was and how many blowouts there was because you had teams like SMU who went to Penn State and got whooped. Um, and then Boise State gets in as a 3 seed and they got smoked. So I don't understand why that rule needed to be made. There's a lot of changes I think that are probably going to end up happening based off of this bracket here. And I think moving forward, we potentially could see a 16-man field going forward for the college football playoffs. What are your thoughts and concerns with how things shaped up?
We go ahead and start off by saying Notre Dame. I lost some respect for Notre Dame on Sunday. I lost a good amount of respect.
No, feeding it in. We take my ball and go home.
So we're not gonna play in the bowl game. Number one, I want to be mad at because the AD is a goofy. I don't know how in the world you're mad at the ACC. The ACC was against us. I thought we were for them, and they projected on us to make sure we didn't get in. No, you're independent. You play Army.
Join the conference. Yeah, join the conference.
Join the conference. You play Army and Navy, and then you want to play Virginia Tech and shit like that. No, nobody cares. Don't nobody care about y'all feelings. Y'all lost to Miami. You lost to Texas A&M at home. You were at home and lost to Texas A&M. You lost these games. Your best win is USC. USC lost to Oregon, and Oregon was down a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Don't nobody care that y'all whooped on Pitt. Don't nobody care about that. Don't nobody care about it.
Miami smoked them too.
Yeah, Miami smoked y'all, and they lost to SMU. Don't nobody care. Hold on, I gotta pull up Notre Dame's schedule because this right here is malpractice. Like to think that your wins are Purdue ass, Arkansas ass. Of course you're gonna whoop on a G5 in Boise State, NC State ass. USC, they're mid. Boston College, trash. Navy, you scheduling Navy? Pitt, trash. Syracuse, they got Brand Brown been only there for a few months.
Right.
Stanford?
Yeah.
You want to tell me that they deserve a college football playoff spot?
Yeah, I still don't understand it right now. Like, I ultimately thought if things shaked out the way they did on championship Saturday, that Miami everything fell in the right place for Miami. Like everything that they needed to go their way fell their way. Um, and I think that they deserve to obviously be in at this point. They finished. I think they finished what 11. They finished 11-1, 11-2, 10-2. Miami.
Miami. Yeah, 10-2.
So and their worst loss was what, to Louisville, and who else?
And SMU. But their worst one is definitely Louisville. They never
Yeah. So obviously, those are both what conference L's in their respective conference. And they beat some really other good teams this year. So I think that they obviously deserve to be in. I know a lot of people had some questions about Oklahoma as well too, especially from the Texas side. But obviously Oklahoma went to Alabama in Tuscaloosa and had probably the win of the year. And obviously they deserve to be in there. I thought Bama after championship Saturday could be on the borderline as far as getting in, but it obviously went to show you that especially with them and BYU being ranked ahead of certain teams or whatever, that championship Saturday obviously not going to punish you. Now I will get to my point about that. So the committee has to. I think that's something that they're going to have to change going forward.
Yes.
Championship Saturday, it's not going to matter going into the 12, the field of 12. Why are we playing? Why are we playing the conference championship games?
Play your backups.
Yeah. What does it matter then? If I can lose, if I can be whatever 10-2 or whatever going into that weekend, and it doesn't hurt me at all, then what is it for? What am I playing for? So ultimately, if Bama would have won, right? Are we saying that now Bama and Georgia swap? Does Georgia go to being a 9 seed, or and Bama gets a bye? Is that what we're playing for, or what are the purpose and the importance of a conference championship game at this point? It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
It didn't make sense for me either, because it's like watching that game, like no doubt about it. Congratulations to the Dogs. I expected the Dogs to win. I didn't expect them to just put BTA for the entire fourth quarter. But I did expect Georgia to win. I thought this was the year that Kirby won, and rightfully so he did. And I was telling people, I said, I still think that there's a chance Alabama doesn't make it. They're like, why? I said, now if Alabama's it's simple. You win and you're in. If you lost, depending how much you lost by, there's a chance that you get removed and you're not going to be in the playoffs.
Right.
And somebody told me this, and I think it was a Georgia fan. They said the reason why Alabama got in is because the only way that they wouldn't have gotten in is if they would have got shut out in the SEC championship game. They said because Bama put up 7, that's why they.
Ultimately, what happened?
Exactly.
That game was, bro.
That game was over.
21-0. They got shut out.
I was on the road and the game was still going on because I was like, bro, I'm done with this game.
They got cooked, man. Like I don't understand if that's the rule. Like if that's what we're going off of, that's essentially what happened. The score ended up being, what was the final score? 28-7. 28-7. That game was completely and utterly dominated by Georgia. It was 21-0 at one point.
Half.
And it didn't gonna be able to move the ball at all.
This is when I knew it was over because I'm listening, right? I'm listening to the game. I'm like, Georgia don't even want to run the ball anymore. They're okay with letting you use the ball because you couldn't do nothing in the air.
Right.
Georgia absolutely dominated Alabama from start to finish on offense, defense, and special teams.
Yeah.
From that case in point, I was like, dang, I thought honestly, I was like I don't think that Miami gets in because I was like, the committee they showing this type of love or they've been showing this kind of love for Notre Dame this long. They gotta stick in through it. Wow, we got more breaking news. Yeah, it's never stopping with this guy.
College news?
Huh?
We got college news?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. We'll talk about this here in a second, y'all.
Yeah.
I thought that honestly Alabama did not look good. I knew exactly what they were gonna look like. Hell, we knew Alabama couldn't run that ball. We knew that. We knew that this was going to be a Ty Simpson throwing the ball deep every game. Hopefully Ryan Williams checks himself back into football. But we knew Georgia was going to say, the only way you're going to beat us is if you run that ball well. They didn't know how to run that ball without Jay Miller. And I told people, I said, man, they're without Jay Miller. They said it was a good thing that they didn't have Jay Miller. Like, how are you down? You're already down your number 3. So why are you okay with being down your number 1 and thinking that y'all still going to be able to move the ball effectively? That's not the case. Ty Simpson, a Bama fan, I think a Bama and a Georgia fan have said this multiple times. Ty Simpson has not been the same since he's played Mizzou.
Yeah.
Damon Wilson messed that kid's whole entire quarterback process.
Yeah,
I hate to be the one that kind of win, but yeah, my edge rusher messed up Ty Simpson that bad to where he Bama fans said he ain't been the same since the Mizzou game. I said,
right.
So I get why the committee is doing this. The committee's still trying to give Alabama a shot. They're like, hey, they're still in the SEC championship game. They have a very expressive resume, even though your 3 losses are horrible loss against Florida State week 1, horrible loss to Oklahoma, and a horrible loss to Georgia.
Right.
And you think that they deserve to get in? No, I'm not vouching for Notre Dame. Notre Dame still needs to join the conference. But you're going to pride it. You're going to say, oh, it doesn't matter. They were in the conference championship game. It doesn't make sense. But I think that honestly, if there's anything that I think that I'm more concerned about is we joke so much about now the G5ers. Again, congratulations, James Madison, Tulane, congratulations. Unfortunately, both of those 2 programs will be losing their coach after this game. John Summerall, the Tulane head coach, is taking the job at Florida. JMU's head coach, I don't remember where he went. I think he went to
UCLA.
Yep. He went to UCLA. So now both of these two programs, they're hopefully that they're playing with house money. I think that unfortunately they're in 2 bad positions because JMU's got to go into the loudest stadium I believe in college football at Austin Stadium and play the Ducks, which the Ducks. I've heard from Duck fans who literally told me they did not want to be in the Big Ten championship game. They did not want to be in it. They wanted to rest up and get ready for the bye. They thought that the 5 seed was their best spot. And looking at it from a base point, it looks like this is the best spot for Oregon to be in. So congratulations, JMU, but get ready to go play a gauntlet. Tulane. I think honestly Tulane is going to put up a bigger fight, even though Lane Kiffin did tell his staffers that he's taking with him to LSU. Yeah, y'all can go back to Ole Miss and go coach that bowl game or that playoff game. It's still going to be it's going to be tough for Ole Miss to, and I think that's going to be a lot better of a game than what people think it's going to be. Yeah. But I definitely agree. You're taking away some spots from other players or other teams that are deserving. somebody said, I remember I looked on social media, somebody says, oh, Notre Dame should take JMU spot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that team that, again, did not play in the conference game. To try and tell them that, oh, yeah, you guys still deserve to go play in the college football playoff. No. Like, as much as I love Jeremiah Love, and I think that he's a great running back, I'm not going to probably – if the committee did not do this, Notre Dame was going to continue with the same trajectory each and every year. Because what I thought what they did last year was malpractice, I agree that this year is still malpractice. Because I was like, the way that Notre Dame got in last year and they lost to NIU, you were a 5 seed or 5 or 6 seed. You hosted a playoff game, and you personally lost to Northern Illinois University. Shout out the Huskies, but you lost to them last year, and you still got in. So I'm glad the committee finally woke up and said, no, we're not about to let this happen twice.
Yeah.
Notre Dame go join the conference, and it looks like y'all about to cut y'all ties with ACC, so y'all probably going to be at the Big Ten. All right.
Yeah. Like, at some point, bro, you got to realize that either you join a conference, schedule better out of conference, tougher opponents out of conference moving forward. Now, there is a rule going into next year, and I just found this out, that Notre Dame, if they finish within the top 12, they get an automatic bid. I think that is a stupid rule off the simple fact that you're telling me to do next year is finish in the top 12 and automatically you get to qualify for the college football playoffs when every other school in this country plays in a conference and things of that nature and has to battle their way through these conferences, and you get to make your schedule however you want to make it. And so I think if we're gonna do that, then next year I better see Notre Dame schedule at least four or five of these opponents on their schedule that have
Their
made this
schedule's
year.
already come out.
I know it has.
Hey, y'all better make some changes, basically. I'm looking at y'all saying, Notre Dame, if y'all really trying to actually prove why y'all should be in the college football playoff, I'm going to tell you this right now. Take Navy off of your list. Take Boston College off of there. Take Purdue off of there. Take Michigan State off of there. This is how their season goes, for people who don't know. They open up the season versus Wisconsin and Green Bay. Wisconsin again, they were not they're primarily known for defense. They're not offensive made. They play Rice. Okay, if that's your non-con, cool. We're good. If that's your punch on, go ahead. Michigan State, get out of here. Then you play Purdue, at Purdue. I don't nobody want to watch that game. Then at North Carolina. No disrespect to Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick ain't going to change that team around in months in the offseason.
We all know why.
And you got versus Navy in Foxborough. You think people want that? What? Then you got Miami. Okay, that's your only good game. Then you got Boston College at home. Pooh. Then you got SMU at home. Okay, that's your second best game. Then you finish off your season with versus Stanford, at Syracuse, and versus USC. You have still 3 good games. Go join the conference.
Yeah. Get in the conference. Sorry, that is the way this works. It doesn't make sense to reward a team right now for basically getting to create their own schedule and playing teams that they know that they can beat.
DG, you can do this right now. If Texas played Wisconsin, Texas kicking the dog water out of them. They play Rice, they're kicking the dog water. They're kicking the dog water at Michigan State and Purdue and North Carolina and Navy. There's going to be a good game against Miami. They'll kick the dog water out of Boston College and SMU. Or actually, SMU will get a fight. Y'all kick the dog water out of Stanford. Y'all kick the dog water at Syracuse. And that would be, say USC versus Texas would be an okay game, but I still think y'all
Yeah. This is what ultimately led to the question of, should these schools continue to schedule out of conference tougher opponent? Um, a lot of people, I'll get it. I guess I'll get into this a little bit. I didn't plan on it, but I will. I know there were a lot of people who kept telling Texas that, ultimately the reason why we didn't make it in to the field of 12 is because of the loss to Florida, which I understand. The Florida loss was a bad loss, right? But the real that I'm sorry, you just can't tell me that was the real reason. The real reason you didn't get in is because Texas decided to schedule a tough opponent in Ohio State and go to Ohio State and play them and lost by 7. So the three losses, a 9-3 record, is not good enough to get in. Now people will sit here and try to convince you that, yeah, because of the Florida. And like I said, I understand the Florida loss was a bad loss. But had Texas scheduled Texas State or Louisiana Monroe week 1 or Colorado State week 1 and had won that game and been 10-2, we're probably sitting here watching Arch Manning and the boys play in this field of 12. This up here coming up in a couple weekends, right? So it leads to the question now of a lot of schools thinking, should they play these tough out-of-conference games? Because now the committee has basically said the tough out-of-conference games are detrimental, especially once you get into conference play. So that leads me back to my point. It doesn't play into fairness for Notre Dame's sake that they basically get a bye for scheduling who they schedule at this point. So now there needs to be some kind of stipulations around who they schedule and who they end up playing. So I will say this too. Notre Dame can forget about the home and home against Texas in a couple years because that ain't happening. Obviously, Steve Sarkisian has come out and stated that they will honor the home and home against Ohio State and Michigan, but I can almost guarantee that the home and home against Notre Dame is not going to happen moving forward. It just doesn't make a lot of sense at this point to schedule those games and play these tough opponents at the beginning of the year when you can play an FCC school or whatever, or DeVry University and beat them at the beginning of the year and make the field of 12. So I expect that there's going to be a lot of change. And Texas is not the only school that's doing this. Alabama has already come out and stated that they're willing to do it. There have been several other schools already that are more willing to do this now, knowing that what you need as far as a resume to get into the field of 12, which I think eventually will become the field of 16, and play for a national title at this point. So, yeah, I just think that there's a lot that still needs to be fixed with this. Obviously, people were still upset when it was 4. Now we get to 12, and people are still upset. So I think we'll go to 16, and people will still be upset.
No matter what.
It doesn't matter how this thing boils down. Let's get to some fun about this. Give me 3 teams in this bracket that you think today, right now, they can win it all.
My 3 teams that I believe that are going that I can give a legitimate case for. I'm gonna start off with the lower, and I'm gonna work my way up. Number 5, number 3, I'm going with the number 5 Oregon Ducks. Oregon, outside everybody doubts Oregon, and they're like, if Oregon didn't lose to Indiana, a lot of people look at Oregon as the favorite. Of course, they lost to Oregon. People are still trying to remind them of that, and they're trying to make sure and say that, hey, Oregon just doesn't have it. Dante Moore, he's been one of the better quarterbacks in college football. He really put up some numbers. If he didn't play that bad against Indiana, he would be in this Heisman Trophy chase. I think that especially how their offense is going, Kenyon Sadiq is going to be a top 15 pick in the NFL draft this upcoming season. They have a lot of pieces that are trying to work their way back that I do expect them to be back fully healthy. One of them is Decorian Moore out of Texas. Uh, I think Decorian Moore just by itself that's another level of your offense. Adding back in potentially Gary Bryant, who they've been missing for the last few weeks. Both of them have been out since I believe the Iowa game. Um, Having them two back potentially is going to help make this Oregon offense even more explosive than it's already been at the beginning of the season. So I think that especially that offense, you don't really need your defense to do much, just hold points. I think Oregon has a legitimate case. Next one, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna roll with the number 3 seed in this bracket. I'm gonna go with Georgia. Georgia has Kirby Smart finally has exercised those Alabama demons. Zach Branch has been the wide receiver that Georgia has been needing, as well as Dylan Bell and Nate Frazier as the running back. Uh, Gunnar Stockton has been one of the better quarterbacks. He's done a phenomenal job at Georgia. And on that defensive side, even though they got some guys emerging for that pass rush is getting better. And then you have guys like Dalen Everett and Zion Branch in that backfield, who also have a lot to bring to this team. I think the Dogs, especially in their good spot, they're playing two teams that are losing their head coach and are losing coaches. And I think that there's any time Kirby Smart can really put it on them, it can definitely be this year. My last and not least, my team that is probably going to be that I think that have a legitimate case for the national championship game. I'm gonna go with Ohio State. Yes, Ohio State lost to Indiana. I think that Indiana could. I think Indiana could, go out there and win it. But I think Ohio State especially has the chance of doing that. They have a really favorable matchup. I think that it doesn't really matter who comes out of that 7 versus 10. Ohio State has a good chance of going ahead and beating them. Bo Jackson has been a good running back for the Buckeyes. He's done a great job. You have Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. Again, you have one of the best 2 receivers in college football, and you still have a good defense. You still have Caleb Downs on that back end, who is still, I believe, is going to be a top 5 pick. I think especially with all that, I heard from Ohio State fans that said, hey, you don't want us to lose this Big Ten championship game because now we're going to be playing with our heads cut, playing like a fish with his head cut off. So I'm going to go ahead and roll with those 3. I just think that especially those 3 are the top 3 in college football. Again, a lot of people are sleeping on Oregon. Oregon is my national champion. I just believe that the Ducks have what it takes, but I would not be surprised if either of those 3 teams win the college football playoff. What about you, D?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same field as you. 3 teams that I think are going to that could potentially win it. I definitely believe that Ohio State is fully capable. They have the talent, they got the quarterback, they got the receivers. To go beat anybody in this bracket. I think that they're one of the tougher teams that you'll have to face in this bracket. Obviously, there are some flaws there with the kicking game at this point, which obviously cost them Indiana. I also think that Georgia is a big favorite in this bracket as well, especially with how they're playing right now down the stretch. I think Georgia is probably the most physical team left in this field of 12 right now, and I don't think there's a lot of teams in this bracket that can match their physicality on both sides of the ball, especially in the trenches. It's going to be very, very tough for them. I will say my sleeper team and my sneaky pick is Texas Tech. I think that defense is for real. They I think if you're on if you're Indiana and you have to match up with them in the semifinals, you should be afraid. Very, 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 very afraid. I know the Indiana's had a great season, and obviously they've been able to beat Ohio State and things of that nature. Which I think that any team can be beat on any given night, and I think this was one of those circumstances where they caught Ohio State on a bad night. And so I think if they rematched again, I would pick Ohio State again as well in that game to win. It's not saying that I don't believe in Indiana. I just don't see how they can win that game again. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I just think they caught Ohio State on a very bad night. Oregon is another sleeper team to me as well, that I think can do some damage. That offense is definitely for real. Dante Moore and those boys, the high flying passing game that Dan Laney likes to put out there, I think can give some teams some fits. And I will say I would not be shocked and surprised if Bama figure things out in this bracket and honestly make some noise. But we'll end up seeing. I know that there's two teams for sure that aren't winning. Oklahoma and Texas A&M are not winning the national title. And I'll say it right here, like I don't care if I'm wrong. I hope they don't see the light of day out of the first round. I'm hoping I will definitely be hate watching both of those teams at this point because they're both little brother to me. And I do respect Oklahoma's defense, but I'm sorry, John Mateer is some butt. And I don't understand how he would even be able to perform. That last game against LSU, you're telling me that team, that quarterback is supposed to lead them to a national championship? I don't know. Texas A&M, I'm sorry, and maybe this is just me hating. I just think they're frauds. I don't respect any win that they had this year. I think South Carolina exposed a lot of what they like to do well. And honestly, I think South Carolina just honestly pissed down their leg and letting them come back and win that game. So I don't see either one of those teams making it out of the first round. Lord, I really have to rely on them to win this game.
I don't know if you want to put trust in Doofy.
But I'm going to put my trust in Carson Beck and the boys to get this thing done. They have to beat. They got to do our dirty work at this point in time and knock this team out, as well as Bama as well too.
Lord,
I can't believe I'm at a point where I don't hate Bama anymore. Because I really gotta root for them against one of my ops. So yeah, I think out of the first round, I got Bama, Miami, Oregon, and Ole Miss moving on. Although I do think Tulane has a chance.
Yeah.
I think that could be the upset.
I think that's going to be the upset of the first round. I forgot to be told. I got a few cutting points. The only thing with Alabama is I'm choosing Oklahoma because it's a night game in Norman. And number two, I have heard reports from Alabama fans. I don't know. I got to fact check this myself. They say Ty Simpson is dealing with a herniated disc in his back. So I think he's having a back injury that could potentially prohibit him from playing.
Right.
I mean, that we're saying this a week out, so it really doesn't matter. But there is some concern between Bama fans and everything else that you might not see Ty Simpson play. You might see Austin Mack instead play, which that is a whole different beast. I think that's going to play into Oklahoma's favor, especially if there's still no Jam Miller. I think that's going to play into their favor adequately. And I just don't believe. I don't really believe in Kalen DeBoer. You can tell me everything you want. Kalen DeBoer has a lot of issues, and right now he has an Oklahoma issue. He's got to exercise that himself. I agree with you. I think that I think this is the battle of the frauds. Texas A&M versus Miami. I'm gonna tell you how it is. People gonna say, Trey, Texas A&M whooped y'all. Y'all whooped on a freshman quarterback. That don't really count.
Mm-hmm.
We still scored 17 with a backup. With a third string quarterback. Because we all know that when your starter ain't getting the same playbook as your backup. That's not happening. I love Zollers, but yeah, that's a whole different ballgame when Bo is playing. And then I've seen Texas A&M. You're right. South Carolina was putting belt to ass to Texas A&M. I think it was like a 21 or I think it was like 30-7. I think it was like 30-7 or 30. South Carolina blew that game. Y'all didn't win it. So again, whoever loses this game, you're a fraud. And I think even then, whoever loses the next game against Ohio State, you're a fraud too. So my choices for this one is I'm going with Oklahoma. Because the game is at Kyle Field, I'm going to lean it towards Texas A&M. But I can see Miami winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with that. I think Ducks dominate. Ducks are going to, as one of my good buddies on Twitter, he says, is damn green in Eugene, and there's going to be a whole bunch of Duck shit.
Yeah, I don't see a world. I'm sorry, and JMU. I think you guys should definitely be proud to be where you're at, but I don't see a world where they walk into. I just think they did y'all no favors putting y'all in the odd one zoo and telling you to go win a game up there. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in some miracle world, yeah,
we might get an upset of college football.
Yeah, it'll be the upset for all upsets, dog. If they go, could you imagine if they go to Oregon and win and beat them?
Oh my gosh. Twitter is going to be a crazy place.
Yes. The amount of ridicule that Dan Lanning and them will receive, I don't think they would want to be on a campus or anywhere near that place. Yeah.
And I'm going to say this, quick PSA. Dan Lanning, you from our area. You putting on for the 816. We don't need you to take care of business. Don't make us look bad.
Please don't make me look like an idiot. I really don't want to look like an idiot.
We support our 816 coaches, whether they're in high school football or pros.
Right.
Don't make us look bad, Dan. Please don't make us look bad.
Facts.
But yeah, that's.
Do you want to give this little last bit of news about Sharon Moore?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Like what we said, y'all stuck around. There's going to be more and more news that's going to keep on popping up. Breaking news. Yes, this is happening even while we are doing this. X is what we're going to be calling him now. Former, putting it up, I'm trying to go ahead and share my screen right now. Former Michigan head coach Sharon Moore. I don't know if he can take his down. Move his up. Hold on 1 second. Sharon Moore, head coach or former head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, has been detained by police in Saline, Michigan. And he has been turned over to a second area police department on the potential charges. It has been said in this whole thing again, for people who are allegedly, this is according to ESPN, allegedly, the University of Michigan has fired Sharon Moore as head coach earlier on Wednesday following an investigation and Moore's conduct with a staff member. Uh, they said this. The president or the president of Michigan said that he had a probable cause. He had with cause. A reason why was because he had relations with a staff member, inappropriate relationships with a staff member. They said that they have zero tolerance for the behavior. They have called to both Saline and Pittsfield Town Police Department to go ahead and detain him. And from here on out, this is kind of a thing that is going to be happening overnight. But as of right now, after getting fired from the University of Michigan, Sharon Moore has now been detained by a second area police department in Saline, Michigan. As things will determine over time, we will see. But honestly, still, even case in point, we still want. At this point in time, we're just hoping that that a resolution does come. But as of right now, it is looking as if Sharon will be facing some charges here coming very soon.
Yeah, this is obviously very unfortunate news for the Michigan former Michigan head coach. So I will say my thoughts and prayers are with everybody that's surrounding in this situation. Hopefully, like it's all alleged or whatever. I don't want to assume anything. I don't want to put anything on the good brother Sharon Moore at this point in time or whatever, because I don't, nothing is. We don't know if anything right now is true or whatever. So hopefully this all works out. Hopefully this is all massive misunderstanding, and things turn out for the better. But obviously this is not a very good situation right now for the Michigan program moving forward. And we'll see how it all kind of unfolds right now. But not looking things are not looking bright in Ann Arbor right now. So and it's such devastating news, especially before they play in a bowl game here coming up on New Year's Eve night or
This,
whatever. So we'll see what happens, man.
as a former coach, I think that the number one thing is when you have a team, the one thing you don't want your team to do, whether you're in the college football playoff or not, whatever type of game that you have going on, the one thing you don't want to have is you don't want to have distractions. And
Yeah.
when you have distractions, like for instance, a couple years ago with the Connor Stallions and the point, in the cheating scandal,
Hmm.
you don't want to have those type of distractions. And this is, even as time goes on, the worst thing about this is it's probably going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
This is going to continuously be in a attention grabber, not only from college football standpoint, but also for the fans of the University of Michigan.
Hmm.
And now it kind of hangs over the Michigan football program, even while they're like, case in point, I think honestly, DG, it's going to be a bad spot for them because of the fact that even when they play you guys for the Cheez-It Bowl, like that's going to work. Instead of hearing about the game itself, they're always going to bring up Sharon in this whole entire situation because of the fact that he was their head coach this season.
Yeah. Yeah. It sucks because it's not a reflection of the kids that are part of that program. It's not a reflection of the program itself. It's just ultimately people making bad decisions. And obviously there are consequences that happen from your decisions, and they affect other people. So that's why you have to always be conscious of what you're doing and how you're moving. But obviously, like I said, it's all alleged at this point. I don't know. We don't know what's fully going on. So whatever is happening right now, hopefully it's just all a big misunderstanding, and everybody from this situation can kind of move forward and go about their lives or whatever. So on that note, we'll end on some happier things. Um, Trey, you want to tell the people about the good people at Underdog Fantasy?
All right, yeah, of course, I would love to. Hey, y'all, as y'all already know, Underdog is live and available in the state of Missouri. Underdog Fantasy is your number one of your top fantasy places to go for whenever you have NFL, college basketball, or NBA, as well as you can do live sports betting. Live sports betting is now available in the state of Missouri, and Underdog has put out this promo. New users, new customers. You don't have Underdog? Guess what? Underdog is giving y'all a reason to get it. If you play $5, $75 in bonus entries, meaning if you put in $5 measly that Patrick Mahomes and Rasheed Rice and everybody else, even in college football, if you want to somehow, some way, because you're that much of a degenerate that you're trying to bet on Army versus Navy, put that $5 to use. Guess what? Put that money on and put that $5 in. You get $75 in bonus bets. Doesn't matter if you win or lose. If you win, you get a little extra bread and bonus entries. If you lose, it's okay. You still get $75 in bonus entries. Our good people at Underdog, they give you this opportunity whenever you come in and you log in. Hey, do us a favor. Do Kingdom Cast a favor. Use that fantasy promo code Kingdom Cast, and you get more bonus. I think that you get more bonus entries off of that. So just do us all a favor, man. If you gonna, again, if you're going to gamble responsibly, and if you're gonna gamble, do it with the good people at Underdog and use our promo code. Help us out. Give us a little bit more traction. Let us know, because all we're trying to do is help y'all out, not only with sports. We're trying to help y'all make a little extra bread. Y'all trying to bet on the Chiefs rushing charges game? Put that $5 to use. You still gonna get $75 in bonus bets.
Use the promo code KingdomCast. Sign up today to get your
use it.
bonus
If
bets.
DG, even if they like some Chiefs fans, they just checked out of the season. They just think, hey, we out of it. Or if you optimistic and you think the Chiefs still have a chance of making the playoffs, go ahead, put that money down. Go ahead. As long as you do it. Now, don't do crazy and be like, oh, Rashard Smith, anytime touchdown. I'll look at you crazy and be like, oh, wow. But
if they don't make it in, you might be thinking about that here soon, because you might be getting a lot of snaps.
You're gonna be getting a lot of them. But yeah, no, use our promo code KingdomCast. Get you some bonus entries, man.
Yeah.
Get you some little extra bread to put on your bread for Christmas coming up, man. Go ahead. Throw a little something down.
Yeah, new users play 5, get 75 in bonus entries, man. Go over and tell the good people that from Kingdom Cast that we send you to Underdog.
Don't tell them Chuck sent you.
Yeah. Don't show Chuck your LeBron bets.
Don't say LeBron go win the
NBA Cup action is tonight, so you can also bet on that as well too, or place a little DFS lineup on that as well too.
Or if you want to
for that
Chuck,
game.
You want to throw Chuck? Put some money on Braun, and if it cashes, you go tag Chuck. You say, "Hey, bro."
That's gonna do it for us. Oh, before I get out of here, man, shout out to the good people over at Wings and Things 5800 Truths. Go tap in with them. A lot of good deals and specials going on with Wings and Things. Go tell them that the good people from Kingdom Cast sent you over there as well. Before I get out of here, man, before the next show, going into the next show will finally be our college football fan call-in show, where we will be discussing the matchups for the CFP, and trying to get some fans on here to discuss their perceived matchups. So if you know Oklahoma, or you are an Oklahoma fan, or you're an Alabama fan, or you're a James Madison University fan, which I don't know a lot of JMU fans. I'm just gonna be honest. If you're an Oregon Duck fan, or You are
Bama,
Georgia,
you
Ohio State, yeah,
you will
Miami,
get them.
right, gig 'em. Any of those fans who are part of the field of 12 and you would like to join us on here to discuss about your matchup, um, real feel free to reach out to us at our respective Twitters. Underscore keep it prolific for me at that way 816 for Trey as well. Reach out to us, man. If you would like to be on the show and talk about your matchup here coming up soon, we will try to get as many of you on here as well. We were playback, but I don't know if a lot of people unfortunately heard the news that playback is to be no more. So we will make adjustments to doing it on here as best as we can on here. Probably we'll have to bring people maybe on one at a time or whatever, or however many people we can fit on here at a
We
certain
might
point.
do matchups. But JMU fan versus Oregon
Yeah,
fan.
yeah. Do a nice little verses.
Yeah, nice little verses.
But
Hey,
yeah,
Bo.
man. CFP is here, man. Bowl season is here. It should be a lot of fun to watch. As always, me and Trey will be back to discuss whatever happens in the coming weeks with the CFP and taking you guys through that as well too. So enjoy your night, guys. We appreciate you for being
Oh,
here.
yeah, I got to
Um,
get my little PSA.
oh, one last, one last thing. Gotta give a shout out, Lord. The Lee Summit High School Tigers are Class 6A
Hold on, let me
state
pull it up. Let me
champions.
pull it up. All right, let me go get my little shirt. Hold up. Hold up. We about to
I
go
know
get
you are
that shirt.
not going to allow us to lead this podcast without talking about
We
it.
ain't, I will not be denied.
Shout out to the kids over at Lee Summit, man. What an incredible story. To start 0-4 to begin the season and then rip off 10 straight wins is an incredible feat. Defeating Nixa in the state final. Incredible win. Here, I'll bring it up right now. Yeah, incredible win, man. Shout out to the young kids over there, man. What a storybook season. And Trey is gloating and flying high right now because it is his former alma mater. That is the exact reason why he was traveling last weekend or whatever to see his. What is this? It's just the fact that it's you, and like had it been anybody else in the metro, I probably would have been. But like, as soon as they won, I said, "Oh my god!" Go ahead and gloat.
Hey man, I just wanted to start off. I actually didn't make a trip elsewhere. I did not go to this game, but I was very much so in top tune. Shout out to the kids over at Lee Summit. This was our first ever, meaning Lee Summit High School's first ever state championship in football. I think that number one, this is a very, very, very resilient team. This is definitely one of those teams that I feel like should be noticed as one of the best ones in Missouri State history. Because again, kind of like what you said, Lee Summit went 0-4. They were 0-4. Everybody was doubting them, thinking that they were going to be bottom of the barrel. They thought they were going to be worse than Lee Summit West this year, and they thought it was over with. Shout out to head coach Todd Miller. Shout out to all the coaches. I know a few of them personally. Coach Mo, one of the guys I went to high school with, Tyler Terrence. Coach Terrence, he did a great job there. Coach McElroy, he's done a great job there. Coach Shriver, a lot of those coaches were there when I was in high school, when I was an equipment manager there. Nah, man, this is a great time. I mean, they like watching them. I got to watch them personally play Jackson High School. They did a great job. They were down. They did not give up. They showed resilience. They showed fight. They continued to do what they knew how to do best, which is run that ball. And they continued to run that ball. I think that they generated over 475 yards of total rushing offense, which I don't think that I've ever seen a high school team ever do that. and especially for the people wondering, they beat Nixa and the number one player, arguably the number one player in the country, Jackson Cantwell, and the Nixa Falcons. They beat them 41-37 in the Show Me Bowl, this Classic State Championship. Uh, Congratulations to these kids, man. These kids all did a phenomenal job. It's a proud moment watching as an alum, watching the team hit that glory, especially knowing the fact that I wasn't able to enjoy it. I wasn't able to be a part of this myself. To watch them cherish this moment and enjoy it, especially for the seniors, because you put so much into it. You watched the whole coaching regime change. You watched a lot of things change, and as soon as you kind of went in there, again, Coach Todd Miller and this coaching staff has done a great job. Coach Jacinto, both brothers, I actually remember, former Mizzou receiver, ICU Dominic Jacinto. He's also a coach over at Lee Summit. But yeah, no, all in general, man, it's a great day, DG. Yeah, we RLS, yeah, man. But no, man, I'm so proud of Lee Summit. I'm so proud of what they're doing. I'm so proud of the students. I'm so proud of the staff. So proud of the fan base for getting behind them. To the fans of Lee Summit, y'all don't understand how well and how much these kids need you and appreciate you. Because I ain't gonna lie, a certain media group was sitting over there trolling them and saying over there, telling them that Jackson was going to beat them by 50, and then another media program telling them they were going to get blown out by 21 by Nixa, and they ignored. And they said, "We will not be denied. We will win this game." And they put those doubters to hate to the side. So again, shout out to Lee Summit. Love these boys, man. I appreciate them. If there's any way that I can help donate to this program and to this team, I definitely will. But nevertheless, you kids deserve it. Nevertheless, you kids should get all of this type of glory. So Lee Summit is the Class 6 state champions. Shout out Kearney. They were in Class 5. They also won. And we had a clean sweep in Platte County, Class 4. So,
yeah, shout out to all the local schools, man, their respective brackets for, winning state and reaching and achieving their dreams this year. It's great to see. So, continue to be successful, continue to keep going, and high school football season is over, man. Work hard in the off season, man. Come back even stronger next year. Hopefully, we can see the Lee Summit Tigers repeat as champions, defend their crown. Yeah, that's gonna do it for us, guys. Kingdom Cast obviously will probably be on tomorrow to discuss Chiefs Chargers moving forward, and then we'll be back next week at the same time to talk to you guys about college football. So appreciate you guys, love you guys, peace.